Welcome to the Pay Yourself First podcast. My name is Chris Jolly, and I'm on a mission to financially empower millions of entrepreneurs. I want you to make and keep more money so that you can begin implementing and turbocharging a plan for creating financial freedom your way during the life cycle of your current business without spending a ton of time or becoming a professional investor. You see, most of the financial teachings out there are made for employees, not entrepreneurs. If you wouldn't listen to someone who doesn't have kids about parenting, why take business financial advice from someone without a business? Are you ready to break free of bad advice and follow the trail of other uncommon entrepreneurs so you can get from where you are now to the lifestyle you were aiming to create when you started your business? Then stick around. Here comes another episode of Pay Yourself First, where the only investment we offer is the one you make in yourself. All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. I am super excited as always because today we have a really awesome entrepreneur on, and her name is Sigrid, and she is from the Netherlands. Sigrid, how are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for inviting me. I'm really excited to be here.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks for coming on the show. We're really excited to have you. I know that you're going to have some great insights for our audience, and just really excited that you took the time out of your day today to sit down and talk with me. Really quickly, you have your own business that you operate in your name. You do a lot of coaching, you do one-to-one coaching, you have group programs, and then you just started doing some retreats in some amazing locations like Ibiza and Dubai. So why don't you go ahead and just tell everybody a little bit more about who you are, what you do, who you help, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, let's start a little bit because I only started like 4 years ago to go full in. And so my journey was one of massive quantum leaps. And what I decided is what I'm really gifted at is spiritual mentoring. So that's actually what I do like in the business. And so I started in 2018 with the first clients. And then quickly I started filling not just one-on-one, but actually going high end and starting to do groups. And so what I do is mainly like empowering women into their gifts of divine potential. So that's basically what it is. And they get results in all arenas of their lives because women in this time are usually busy. They like to have like full wealth capacity. They like to be great mothers, great, like everything. And then how do you do that? So that is something where I allow them to tap into who they really are and to bring that in. And I do that through daily channeling. I do that through empowerment, like retreats, all the things, really amazing things. So yeah, that's in a nutshell what I do.
Awesome. And how did you get interested in that? What got you started?
When I was a social worker, I just knew. And I think like many entrepreneurs, you're born for more. You have this desire to feel free. I felt locked in. I was good at what I did, but I just wanted more. Like I wanted to break the money codes. I wanted to break the freedom codes. I just wanted to live a full life. But I had 3 children at that time. Now I actually have 4. And so there were so many limitations. And I did not see anyone who was succeeding with many children, living this very exciting traveling life, and then still being a good mother and doing all the things. So I just felt very much called into diving into that and shifting that paradigm, not just for me, but for other women who just have this ambition. So that is really where it started. And then I just started with what I was really good at, which was coaching people. And then it just started to accelerate in bigger ways. And that got me where I am right now. I feel a lot of what I do is just create the life I want, and then it matches my business. And so everything in my life is structured in a way that it all matches. So I can travel a lot. I'm only working like during the week, 3 months a year, I'm off. So I can travel. I created a business that actually fits me and my lifestyle and created health that is just supporting that lifestyle, which is exhilarating because I believe that is what I came to do. I came to create massive impact and only my life to the fullest. So that is my vision on creating a business. It's not just a business, it's actually my lifestyle. It's who I am. And so I don't really feel I'm now in my business and now I'm just living my life and I create a great life. So expression of who I am is part of my life. That's my business. And then of course, like spending time with my love, and we're getting married now. So that's an exciting part. And so I make sure that all components in my life fit because I believe then I'm able to scale into something which is healthy, which is feeling wealthy on all levels, not just the money, but actually feeling wealthy and radiant. So that has been my number one thing.
That's awesome. Congratulations on getting married.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I know that you mentioned you started doing one-on-one, moved into group programs, you started doing high ticket. I talk to a lot of coaches and mentors, and they get stuck in making the moves from going from one-on-one to working with a larger set of people, and also realizing that what they have is valuable and they can probably charge way more than what they actually are charging. Can you speak to your journey with that and how that progressed for you?
Yeah, I think I am, as a social worker, I was working with groups. So I felt very confident in leading groups. So it was not like I was new in the world. I never coached anyone. I felt confident and I knew the value of groups. So I could literally give the audience that transmission and I give them the value. So that part was so crystal clear to me that for me, after selling, say, 10 people one-on-one, I was like, I'm doing the same stuff with these people. And so why not the group, make it charge less, have more people in the group, and then up level my one-on-one so that I can charge more and I can give these people what I'm not actually offering in the programs, because I realized I was doing the same thing again. So those people I wanted in a group, and then for the advanced one, I was like giving the one-on-one mentoring.
Yeah. And as far as the pricing piece goes, how was that for you? I know a lot of coaches bump up against being able to charge what they're worth because they don't necessarily realize the value of what they do. What was that like for you?
Yes. So for me, when I started, and that was at that time like a lot, I remember asking 900 euros for 3 months of coaching, and that was like out of this world. That was like half a month of salary. So for me, that was a big journey to step into my value. I just felt my gifts I have, it's something what I do natural. So why can I ask a lot of money for that? That felt really weird. So I had to go in, and I just made agreements. What I did was, if I sell something 3 times at this price, I have to upgrade. So I just had this structure into what made me upgrade. Okay, this is now I'm selling it 3 times, let's go up. I remember in March, I was selling my first private coaching for 3 months for 900 euros, almost 1,000. And then in May, I actually sold 2,500. What I started doing is, like, in February, I was at like 1,000 euros a month. And then in May, because I sold 3, like I was at 2,500 because I kept upgrading. So I, for one, had a coach at that time who was charging, in my believe, a lot of money. Now I have one-on-one packages for 55,000, and she didn't even charge that at that time. But I feel being around people who charge high ticket with ease, that just helps you to grow into it. So I would always have these, say, 3 arenas. One is, I'm used to it. First, it was, I'm used to giving what I do for nothing. And that was my normal standard. And I upgraded that. Then the middle was, okay, this is my stretch. And let's go into the stretch. So what is a number that feels good, but it's still a stretch? And then there was the uber stretch, like the big dream. I positioned that. When I started, my big dream was making 78,000 euros a year. That was felt like the biggest thing. Now I have months like bigger than that. So you just elevate the thing. And I do that by using literally myself, and I make agreements with myself. And I feel if you're too much in the emotion, it just becomes really hard, because then, like, I don't feel good, or it feels like this. I'm just making a plan, or I made a plan at that time where I would upgrade my prices, but not in a weird way. So after 3 times, I was used to it. My nervous system was relaxed into it. And then I was just adding a little, and I was adding a little until I just entered the magic field where I feel like this is what feels right now. And now if I feel like I want to upgrade, I will, but some of the prices just feel really good to me right now. Makes sense?
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And what really stands out, and what I really believe too, is it's about who you surround yourself with, because it is so helpful to see that example. If you've never done something and it seems so far removed for you to do, then you don't even know how it can happen. It seems like such a big deal, like it's going to take so much work. And then you see somebody who has been doing that thing for years, and something that you've been working for months on, they just walk up and they have the answer and they've figured it out in 5 minutes. And those people are so useful to have around you because they have a completely different mindset. And it's the mindset that you really need to adopt to level up, like you said.
100%, so that you can stand into that new identity, because the man or woman who is charging that level is already there. The man or woman who feels worthy, he or she is there. It's just, am I allowing her out of the cage, basically? Am I ready to unleash her and stand in my power and stand in my confidence and then walk with it? Yeah. And I feel there's also the thing where people just say they believe it, but they don't really, and then it's not working. So you need to match like everything within you into that alignment, which says, I'm ready for this, let's go. And it still feels like a stretch. It always feels like it's still, there's tension on it, but I can do it. And if you're in that energy and you're just consistently moving with everything, then it just goes super fast and you make quantum leaps. And in my case anyway, I made massive leaps from nothing into a lot. Yeah.
You really have to align with that energy. And for most people, it comes down to an issue of embodiment, right? It's the same thing with all the affirmations that everybody does. You can repeat the same thing over and over a million times a day, every day of your life. But if you don't internalize it inside your nervous system and actually believe it that way, you're going to have a hard time trying to manifest something like that, because whatever your brain might say, your body is telling the universe, the law of attraction, whatever you want to call it, no.
Yeah, so you need to be safe, feel safe. I believe in that. Feel safe in your body, and you can have a little stretch. But if you're constantly overstretching, like having numbers that sound good because everyone on the internet has these numbers, that is literally not the way into the elevation. It's what feels like a stretch and what feels good to me. And that number I have, what I want, that will come. But now I'm just moving into that, what I'm capable of holding, that what I'm capable, like to hold in my nervous system, in how I think, in how I act, in like how I value myself. And I do believe like high ticket is a great way of selling, because you only have to sell a couple of things and then it gives you a lot of freedom.
Yep. And it gives you more time to be able to serve your clients and to put your life together the way that you want. And, it makes you get better, like you said, because you don't say, I'm going to go triple what I charge, but I'm going to offer the same thing. You say, if I'm going to charge more, then I need to change what I'm doing and what I offer so that it's worth that. And so the more that you charge, the more value you're actually given to create.
100%. Yeah. And I also feel like I go live on Facebook every day, and I do that for free because I believe what I do behind the scenes and in my classes and programs and experiences is even better. So like, I always believe when you give your best for free, there's always more, what is even better. And that is an attitude I feel as an entrepreneur that is so beneficial, because it gives you creativity, it gives freedom, it gives excitement, it gives abundance, all of that. And that I think translates to an audience and into money as well.
Yeah, I agree. There's a lot of coaches out there who think that if I give content out for free, then they're not going to need to come work with me because they can just take the content and do it on their own. And while there might be a small percentage of people who actually can and will do something like that, most people aren't. What they really need is the accountability, which is why they need to sign up and get the coaching. So they have to show up every week and actually move forward what they're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, now I want to ask you, because I'm really interested and I'm sure our audience would love to hear. You were telling me before the interview about some retreats you've been doing in Ibiza and Dubai. That sounds super amazing. Can you tell us a little more about it?
Yes. So I love hosting events in person. So I do all-inclusive retreats where I rent out a hotel and the people are like, everything is included. And then I do during the day my sessions. And sometimes this is part of my inner circle. So for the women who are participating in all my programs, that's part of it. But I also do it as an exclusive retreat where people just can do the retreat only. And what I lead women into is full embodiment of their divine potential, which is pretty extraordinary. But we also do it in a way that is really relaxed and laid back. Some of the retreats are really filled, like from 7 to say in the middle of the night. I know my work is so impactful. I don't need to do it that way. So we just enjoy a lot of like relaxation time. And then we do in the middle, like during the day, high impact sessions. And then they can connect with each other later on. And because we are in this close surrounding, like on Ibiza, and it's just a beautiful atmosphere, or in Dubai, that is just like that place, those places in itself just radiate such beautiful energy. So the women flying in from all over the world, that flight in itself is just creating massive transformation. And then being there together is just phenomenal. And it's interesting because most people tend to return. So they come back over and over again. Yeah. I love being with people in person, and I love seeing them like go way beyond who they are and what they think they are capable. And that is literally happening in those retreats. It's pretty spectacular. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great place, retreats like that, to go to stretch yourself and to embody a new identity and to meet other people who are also working and growing together, for sure.
Yeah, that is 100% true.
Okay, now I want to ask you, as you continue to grow and scale your business, what kind of has been the biggest financial roadblock for you so far?
I think the biggest thing was at first, I just made a lot of money. It was just happening like a lot of money. And then I realized I do not have any costs. So what started to happen is that I had to pay extreme amounts of taxes, like far beyond the 50%. It was closer to 71, 72%, like in total. And so I realized it's one thing to make money, but it's a whole other thing to build wealth. And so for me, it was about looking into ways that were changing, that I didn't have to work harder. And I love to pay taxes. Let that be very clear, because I think it's good and I live in a beautiful country. But this was just beyond anything because I did not have a physical business. If you have a physical business, there's a lot of costs. And then the percentages are very different from having an online business and only like profit. It sounds really good, but the money was just like, I don't know, disappearing like very fast. So that was one of the things. And first, I didn't really care because I was building the business. And then I had some team on. So there were more costs and all of that. But that has been one of the things that was bothering me. And then another thing was the inconsistency. So I had months of over 100 and then months of 10. So that was another thing, what felt like inconsistency in money flow. So months really high, months low, months, all of that. And that actually still takes when I talk about money, that takes most of my bandwidth to stay centered, to trust, to walk, to see that it's like becoming more. And I obviously have a lowest kind of month thing and then a highest, but it's like I would love to have more of this like consistency in the income, even though like with the months I make in between, it's like it's crazy. So it's perfect. And that is one of the things where I'm currently working on to make it more consistent.
Yeah, that's something that I believe that a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with, especially in the kind of coaching and consulting space, because you do have those widely varied months where you'll close somebody into your high-level one-on-one, you'll have 5 people sign up for a group program that you just started, and then you hit a bad month and you get maybe 1 or 2 new clients, and suddenly it's like the faucet dries up. And as you alluded to, there's a very real difference between making a lot of money and actually doing something with that money and building wealth. Yes. And I think that it's a big trap that a lot of people fall into, because they start making a lot of money and then what do? They go spend everything that they make.
And for me, I was actually saving a lot because I literally could not believe was coming in. And I didn't really need a lot because I had a good life. And obviously I'm a mother. And so we did go on holidays. And so I did do a whole rebuilding in the home and investments. And I did all the things. And then I was just going for the next level. And for me, that was changing my business from the Netherlands to Dubai to shift the level of tax, what I was paying. So that has been one of my latest biggest business moves. So I'm still paying tax in the Netherlands, but I'm also creating a business, an additional business in Dubai. So when I have my savings in there, I can literally start investing from that place, which just makes my money more available to me and creates wealth in a bigger way. And I cannot work for that, like it just is impossible to work that hard to get the same amount. And so now the money starts working for me, which is very exciting.
Yeah, one thing that so many people overlook in the journey to financial freedom is really that tax that they're paying and what they might be able to do to incorporate or live in a more tax-friendly location. Because as you said, it's one thing to save a little bit of money here or there, but if you can move somewhere and save 30, 40, 50% on your taxes, you'd have to work 5 times as much, 5 times as hard to get that money back to then pay taxes on it anyway. And yeah, that's one of the best things you can do to build wealth, is just lower your tax burden.
And for me, it felt very exciting. I have a very good team. I have multiple, but 2 are my core team, to offer them like 10% of the profit. So now I also have a highly active and engaged team that will never leave me because it's such a good deal. It's not like you get 10% of like after taxes. No, you get 10% of the profit. And that creates, because that was also a thing, if you ask what do I think was hard, was I made a lot of money. I had my team, my sister's on my team. And so it felt always, oh, we're celebrating that I make a lot of money. You get a good payment, but still, what is the excitement for you? Because you have, your thing. And now it's every payment made, 10% is for her. And that feels very exciting because then it goes really fast. So that's also something I really love about sharing in bigger ways. And now also to be able to put money to causes I want to put it to. And I have a big thing with children and big thing with women. So I like to donate money now in way more bigger chunks than what I did before. So it gives a lot of freedom on all levels. And I thought I had to move to Dubai, but that was not really the case. So that was also interesting.
Yeah, and that's something too that a lot of people, I think, don't realize is that for some of these countries, you don't actually have to move there. For some of them, you don't even have to step foot in the country at all. And a lot of people just don't want to uproot themselves. They're happy where they are. Their families are nearby, that sort of thing. But sometimes you don't even have to make the move to get the tax advantage.
Yeah. And this was a fast move. I decided it like in December, and within 2 months, I arranged all the things. I do have to go to Dubai though every 6 months, but I now just host retreats then. It's perfect.
Yes.
I
Sounds
love
like
hanging
it.
out. The energy is amazing there. It's such a, if you want wealth vibes, well, go to Dubai, you will feel it. You will be energetically charged for sure. Yeah. So there's a lot of ways to make it more exciting. I feel now this was like an adventure. It feels very exciting to me. Instead of dreading like all the things, it now feels super exciting. I created a business that feels exciting to me. And I think that is something which is available. It's not a dream, it's really available. If you allow that to be the vision and you go and you break the barriers of the norm, that's basically it.
Yeah, and it's crucial to do that because otherwise, instead of building a business that you're excited to show up to every day, you've given yourself a job that you hate. And if you want to go to a job that you hate, just go work for somebody else because you'll probably make way more money and have less of a headache, at least in the beginning.
100%. This is 100% true. Yeah. It's about the whole life experience, right?
Yeah.
As you run the business. Yeah.
So a moment ago, you mentioned the word freedom. I want to ask you, what does financial freedom look like to you? I know everybody has a different picture, so not necessarily like a dollar amount or anything like that. But if you had your business running where you didn't have to show up every day in it and you had all the money you could ever ask for, what would you do with your time?
So for me, it means that I do something I absolutely love, which is that what I do right now. It means that I can spend time with my children. I see them grow up, which is happening right now. It means that I have a lot of free time to travel, which I'm creating right now. And it means I get to share my wealth with the people I love and to really create a great life where other people, they're part of my inner circle. So for me, that means that. And then it obviously means that money is doing its work for me. But at the end of the day, I do never want to stop working because I love my work that much. Like it would feel very empty to me if I would only have automated things going, although I will create that. That's part of creating wealth. But I like to feel fulfilled in wealth. And so wealth is not just money for me. It's also the experience of creating amazing programs, seeing people transform their lives. Like for me, the giving element in wealth and financial freedom is really big as well. So although it's money and that is all part of it, my feeling is to live a very inspired and great life. I think that's why you see people who really succeed financially and early on retired, they start up something new because they miss that. So I just know like work will be part of me, but not in a way that I feel it's work. But I don't really feel it's work right now. So I already live that life. So now I'm just walking into the vision, bigger, faster, more in big, like in more exciting ways. So that's how it is for me.
Great. I love that. It's exactly what most entrepreneurs want out of their business is to build that wealth so that they can go on to the next thing and so that they can continue to have that impact. Because when you love to do something, you don't want to stop just because you made a bunch of money. You want to continue to do it, even if the way that you do it changes.
Yes, 100%. Bigger ways or maybe less often or whatever. But it's, I really have that strong calling to create something phenomenal beyond what I've ever could imagined, something which is breathtaking to me. That feels exciting for me.
Love that drive. And it sounds like you've got a really clear picture of what financial freedom is for you and are well along the journey. What are your plans for 2023 inside of your business? What's one thing you'd really love to accomplish this year, or what's the biggest initiative you have going on right now?
We have multiple things. I like to create online retreats like a summit. So we're going to go into the Quantum Leap Summit, where I'm interviewing amazing women and I'm calling in like a new audience. I feel very excited about that. My website actually got hijacked, which was a blessing in disguise because we're going to build that for new and I'm going to upgrade all of my programs, all of the qualities. So that is really like I continue to up level everything I do and actually to attract even more powerful women into my world. So that is my main focus. And in that, obviously, cash flow is coming in more abundant ways because that is now changing. And so I will also look into bigger investments because obviously now with Dubai in the picture, everything is changing. So there's multiple things. I usually move fast. So this is more like first half of the year. And then usually like after 3 months, I continue to add more for the rest of the year. Usually more comes in, like more shifts, more things. I'm someone who likes to create a lot. Yeah, so that is my focus. And to run phenomenal programs and all of that. That is just something I love. Yeah.
Sounds amazing. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our audience?
Not really, but what I would love for you, if you're listening, is to just create a business and a life you love that excites you every day. And of course, there's moments where you feel stuck and but that's in a day job, that's everywhere. We will never have a life where we don't elevate. And elevation means sometimes we bounce and then we continue. But if you have a clear vision of what you want, that is just the best thing, because once it fits in your vision, you just continue to move. And if it's not, you don't need to do it. So having a really strong vision and then living it with all your heart is the gateway to infinite success in all arenas in your life.
I absolutely agree. And that's so well said. You shared a lot of really valuable insights for me and my listeners, Sigrid. It's been absolutely amazing to have you on. Thanks again for taking the time out of your day to jump on the show and speak with us.
Thank you for asking me. And thank you everyone for listening.
Now, for anybody who's looking to connect with you or wants to find out more about what you do, what's the best way for them to do that?
I think the quickest way is to either go to Instagram, where I have my daily challenge, so you can see a little bit of the work I do, or you go to my business Facebook page, which is also called my name. That will be quick. And then usually I do a lot of master courses and classes, and then you will be on my email list. And that actually gives you access to a lot of good stuff. What I do, paid and unpaid. I just do a lot of different and variety. So there's multiple ways.
Awesome. Thanks again for sharing that and for coming on. It's been a pleasure. And if you're listening out there and you enjoyed today's episode, please go ahead and subscribe for us. Leave us one of those 5-star reviews. And if you happen to be an online entrepreneur and want to come on our show like our amazing guest did today to share your valuable insights for our audience, we'd love to talk to you about you and your business. So you can go to pyfpodcast.com. That's the letters pyfpodcast.com and apply. All right. Thanks again so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, everybody. Till next time.
If you've listened this far, chances are you're an entrepreneur looking to become more financially literate and create financial freedom for yourself from your business. The Pay Yourself First podcast is definitely here to help with that. My goal is to continue to share what I've learned about using your business as the tool to create financial freedom. But let's face it, it would take me years to share with you everything you need to know via these episodes. Creating financial freedom is something that most people never even consider, let alone make a plan for or take action towards. It's something almost no one was taught anything about. Doing it as an entrepreneur is even more challenging, especially without support. So if you're ready to get clear on what financial freedom looks like for you, come up with an action plan, and get the support systems and accountability you need, I invite you to consider the Abundantly Infinite Entrepreneur. I created the program to help entrepreneurs just like you get a handle on their personal and business finances and start building confidently towards financial freedom. And it's how you can discover ways to take 10 years off your retirement, add an extra 5 or 6 figures to your portfolio, and finally get clear on what numbers you should be tracking in your business and why. Together, we'll gain clarity around your financial goals and what being financially free would actually look like for you. Then we'll put together a customized game plan to get you there and the accountability to see you through. And by the way, you're also going to get all the spreadsheets you need to run your numbers, lifetime access to the materials, including any updates, and entry into our members-only community. In addition to all the knowledge, coaching, community, and systems that you need to create financial freedom from your business, you'll also receive a free financial assessment, a retirement planning session, and guided meditation aimed at helping you embody the feeling of true financial freedom. So yeah, you can just listen to the free content on these podcasts to help you move towards becoming a financially free entrepreneur. And sure,
you'll likely see some results. Or you can make the decision to commit to learning, implementing, and embodying what you need to know to create the financially free life you dreamed of when you started your business journey. Click the link in the show notes to answer a quick questionnaire, and you'll be on your way to joining the abundantly infinite entrepreneur.